There's also some stuff that's going on here in this country I want to talk about. Oklahoma school head Ryan Walters. He says teachers who won't teach the Bible could lose their license. Now, Oklahoma educator who refuses to teach students about the Bible could lose their teaching license, Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters said in an interview with NBC News on Friday. Walter issues a memo Thursday instructing all Oklahoma schools to teach students in grades 5 through 12 about the Bible's influence on the nation's founding and historical American figures. Schools will also require to stock a Bible in every class.
Jesus, man.
Crazy.
A Bible, huh?
Yeah.
And there's a people could sue for that. They should be able to sue for that.
Well, remember there was one lady that took the Bible out the school. Because the schools was invented by the Catholic Church. Anyway, let's give it a little history. And there was one lady that just fought against it and got it out the school. And in these days, I don't think there should have any religion in school. But if you can have a pride flag in school, you might as well have a Bible in there.
Right.
But this is kind of
it's more of a thing about where we're heading as America to me than it is about religion or not. We're fundamentally changing the way that America is supposed to be ran to appease certain people. Like there's things we're going to touch on today that's showing like we're going far right now as America, and they're not even the majority. They're minority in this country.
Yeah,
like by far the minority in this country. And they run everything. Now we got Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not even like over half of Oklahoma is owned by Native Americans. Do we know that? It's not owned by European Americans who brought Christianity over to Native Americans. It's owned by Native Americans by law. Most of it's all reservation land. And so what the hell are we even having this conversation?
Well, the natives on their land, they can do whatever they want. Like if you go on the natives' land and you acting crazy and they shoot you, that's on you. You shouldn't have been on their land.
What I'm saying,
but I'm saying like this, it's like no, they did that as soon as when Obama got elected, they made sure and they saw what the writing on the wall. So what they did is they put themselves in places and made laws where they can hold on to power even though they are the minority in places.
They got Trump in office. That's what did it for him because Obama should have had Merrick Garland as his Supreme Court justice, and we should have rolled over, and it would have been 6-3.
Well, that's on all the people that voted for Bernie Sanders, and some people were like, "Bring Bernie back," and I'm like, "No, do not." Bernie Sanders is 82 years old.
Not just Bernie Sanders.
It's his voters.
Did not vote for Hillary.
No, the people in America voted against their best. They didn't vote at all. You voted against your best interest. Now, what happened? You lost 3 Supreme Court seats. Yeah. You lost Roe v. Wade is gone. You're about to lose more. They took away your voting. They're taking away your land. They're going to put Bibles in the school. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens. Elections have consequences. Yep. You can't sit there and bitch online about, I can't believe this is happening. We should expand the Supreme Court. No, we're not going to expand the Supreme Court because if you would have won, you wouldn't be entertaining the idea either. The whole thing people need to understand is, look, you little punk ass bitches, get out there and vote. Get out there and stand up for what you want. Because if you don't, some things are going to go bad and some things we can't all agree on. All right.
It's like even with the homeless that we talked about in our last episode about the Supreme Court ruling on the fact of whether you can sleep outside in public.
Yeah, someone came out and said, stay awake or go to jail.
And at this point in time right now, it has been ruled upon, and it's a law now that you can no longer sleep outside in public. It's a law.
Yeah.
You can't do encampments, anything like that. It wasn't based upon homelessness on the law. I don't think it was. The Austin law was not based. It was based upon like a protest or something. But now it's across the board. This is gonna affect major cities everywhere. Where are you gonna put these people at? Where are you gonna put them?
Because the rent ain't going down.
You know what I mean? You can't house them, so you're gonna put them in jail.
Yeah, of course.
How much more is gonna cost?
Crime is down in the black communities. They got to put somebody in them.
They got and so it just gets to the point to where there's just so many.
Them slave license plates ain't gonna make themselves.
And so that's a tough one right there. Just looking at that homeless law, like now in America, it's a crime to be homeless, man. That's
America's government and laws have made it, and the greedy corporations have made it so you can't afford to live in the country and have your own stuff. So when you fall, you're going to jail. They're going to lock everyone up. Those private prisons got to be filled up. I'm telling you, crime is down across the board.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we got to do something about this. That's why they're passing these laws. Imagine that. Imagine you lose your place because your job crumbles because they can't afford, and now you homeless and you sit down on the ground, you pass out for a nap, and now you're in handcuffs.
And you're a criminal now.
But you
can't go get a job. They're gonna make sure this is on your record. You can't, man. This is.
Imagine that you can't get a job because you were homeless and you have 2 encampment charges.
This is what right wing politics is about. Okay. Also, you got the Supreme Court rejects settlements that shielded Sackler family from opioid lawsuit. The United States Supreme Court has rejected a bankruptcy settlement that would have protected members of the Sackler family from lawsuits related to the opioid epidemic. In a 5-4 ruling, justices found that the settlement between Purdue Pharma and states, tribes, local governments violates U.S. bankruptcy laws by exempting the Sacklers from future obligations. And that's, I agree with that. But you know what? They were quick to do that one, though. They were quick to jump on that. You know why? Because who is this affecting?
Their
or
pockets.
Everybody else.
Corporates.
It's not even just corporate pockets. It's the people who are going to be able to sue these people.
Yeah.
We know that the opioid crisis predominantly affected people who were of European descent in this country. Period. They overwhelmingly affected everybody across the board. Let's not get it wrong. But a right-wing government coming in, a right-wing Supreme Court coming in saying this about them 5-4 ruling, it's crazy to me because I look at it like you would think that they would say, hey, they should protect the families from future lawsuits because these are rich people. They should want to protect them. But no, they're like, no, let these families go and get their retribution because a lot of their friends had issues with these. With
their friends and their family are the ones that are being affected by the drugs.
Absolutely.